5 unhappy NBA legends who demanded a trade. A trend that's taken off these days that was never much of a huge problem in years past is superstars telling teams before their contract runs out that they want out and want to be traded. This is an interesting development because on the one hand, it saves teams from having a situation like Cleveland and Toronto had with LeBron James and Chris Bosh. But on the other hand, it's turning fans against superstars and making those superstars look incredibly selfish. Of course, when we tackle this whole problem, you have to determine which school of thought you're in. Welcome to Endless Sports. Subscribe now so you never miss out on any of the greatest facts about sports and the latest trending sports news. Let's get into the video. Are you one of those people who think superstars can owe their team something in certain situations? Or are you the basketball is a business person who thinks everything is fair game as players have free will? I, for one, do think there are certain situations where a player owes something to the team they're on. Often, a team has built everything around the superstar over the course of multiple seasons, getting to a certain point only to have the superstar run off to another city because it's in a bigger market or it's a tax-free state. Sure, I understand the other side of the coin. Players telling their teams beforehand that they're planning on walking away after their contract is up is definitely better than the other option. But in certain cases, the player leaving at all is a shady thing to do. They do have free will, but at the same time, the fans have the free will to look at this player and see what he's doing as an act of betrayal. Chris Paul. The most recent one of these two has to be Chris Paul. Paul signed a 3-year extension with the Hornets back in 2009 with the thought in mind that the team would be run to win a title, and it was for a while. Then, back in 2010, when the NBA took over the Hornets, it was impossible for him to think that winning was in the best interests of the team. The only thing going on was the league looking for a new owner with deep pockets that they would approve of. After a year of having no new owner, Paul saw the team's front office in shambles and wanted out, something anyone in their right mind would have done. Kevin Garnett. Back in 2007, there was never really a final collective opinion whether Kevin Garnett actually demanded a trade or not, but if he did, it would have made sense. Garnett had given 12 years of his basketball life, including most of his prime, to this Timberwolves team that made some inept moves and just couldn't surround him with a legitimate team to save their lives or jobs. If he did demand a trade, then there's no hard feelings toward the big man. Charles Barkley. Back when the round mound was nearing the end of his time in Philly, nobody was happy. The fans were tired of his antics, the coaches were ready to pull their hair out, the front office didn't like his "I'm not a role model" act, and Chuck himself was ready to split. Basically, they were in a situation that's the exact opposite of what's going on in Phoenix with Steve Nash right now. Really, how can you blame a guy for wanting out in a case where everyone involved would be happier if the player was gone? Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain had spent his days in the NBA yearning to be legendary, to be great, to be remembered, and he definitely was. However, to do so, he was traded twice, the second time shipped out of Philadelphia because he wanted to play elsewhere with other guys. So in 1968, for the price of a ball of twine and some new basketballs, Wilt Chamberlain was donning the purple and gold for the Lakers. Wilt was unhappy with the 76ers. That's right, he was unhappy with a team that had just went 62-20, a team that complimented him with Hal Greer, Billy Cunningham, and Chet Walker. Instead, he wanted to be part of a Lakers team where he would just be one of the guys, not the guy as he was playing with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. It always seemed that Chamberlain left the Sixers for 2 reasons, to play in LA and to play on a team where he wouldn't have to be the leader on the court. That, to me, just seems selfish. Kobe after Shaq left. As the Lakers were moving from one era to another, they traded Shaq and put all of their eggs into the Kobe Bryant basket. Now, you can imagine their frustration when Kobe went and requested a trade of his own in 2007 after the team's second straight first-round exit from the playoffs. Kobe was upset with the players around him and the direction of the team, so he wanted out. The only problem was that the Lakers had dedicated everything to Bryant, and now he had requested a trade. They could have held on to Shaq and rode the rails on the rest of his career, but they decided to keep Kobe, who had not only taken part in driving Shaq out, although it seems to be a 50-50 split on the fault at this point, but driving Phil Jackson out as well. We hope you enjoyed this upload. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for even more great content just like this. Thanks for watching, see you soon in another one.